For the first time, AKAPAD, we're doing a series on this podcast, the Film Buff Podcast. 1,100, 1,200 episodes deep. We haven't done a dedicated series that's branded the way that we're doing this one. And it's baseball. Hopefully you like baseball. Hopefully you're into baseball season. But if you're not, I try and discuss what this game means to Americana, to the filmmakers, and how they wedge it all into a movie with success, sometimes with a masterpiece, and sometimes with something we just like to watch. AKA Patters, it's the Film Buff Baseball Movie Series. Let's go. We're talking baseball movies because it's baseball season, baby. Here in Philly, it's all red, it's all Phils. I'm still upset about the World Baseball Classic. I'm still upset about where the Phils ended up last season. I'm just still beside myself that the Birds tanked that game with the Niners. I just need a good Philadelphia playoff run. Can we get it from the Sixers this year? I don't know. But I love baseball. And I love this movie. The Natural, 1984. Directed by Barry Levinson. He directs us right after Diner. And Diner is one of the greatest young Hollywood ensemble movies of all time. Diner, in a lot of ways, is better than American Graffiti. I find myself watching Diner more than American Graffiti. But there's no baseball movie. And we got Robert Redford here, guys. And R.I.P. Robert Redford. He passed away this past year. There's no other movie that begins mythically. The opening notes, one of the great film scores is in this movie. Randy Newman. The score of this movie bookends the entire movie. It's the whole point. I'll tell you about the point of the movie before we gloss over or just speed run the plot. The score alone, the way it wraps this movie. We're watching mythology. We're watching a myth. We're watching how something that is truly great can affect the people's lives and challenge the people's lives around them, where some people accept it and some people don't. It's somewhat biblical. We see some of this too in The Matrix, right? Like the second Matrix movie was so surprising when not everyone accepted the prophecy of Neo. We see in Harry Potter, not everyone accepts somewhat of this prophecy of the Potter and destroying evil. We see some of it even with Lord of the Rings, where there's a side that accepts it and there's a side that doesn't. What we get here is a mythic retelling to what baseball means to the American life and to the American culture, where in a large way, a lot of this country was built through the love of this game. Roy Hobbs is a corrupted character. See, this is the hubris of it all. The flesh is weak. He leaves his first girlfriend to pursue baseball. During that pursuit, he strikes out Babe Ruth. Robert Duvall plays a news reporter who later forgets about this. Roy Hobbs, through some of this, meets another woman. She's an orbiter of baseball players. We see her with Babe Ruth on a train earlier in the movie. She shoots Roy Hobbs. He disappears. Goes from town to town, a little bit like Sonny Hayes in Formula One. He reemerges. The owner's girl, played by Kim Basinger, Mimo Paris, that's the girl's name. Great. This is where Roy Hobbs, the flesh is weak. He is susceptible to women. What he does in the beginning of this movie, he breaks away from his girlfriend, the love, Glenn Close. He later runs into this woman who orbits baseball players, and she shoots him. He doesn't make it to the league. Later, Kim Basinger, like beautiful, right? I mean, it's almost like you get the best looking people in history crammed into a baseball movie. And then all this time goes by. All this time goes by. And Robert Duvall's character forgets about Roy. He forgets that moment where Babe Ruth was struck out by Roy Hobbs. But he's reminded of it. It's a haze in his memory. And the greatness of Hobbs reignites that memory. There's themes in this movie where you want to appreciate the game. If Field of Dreams is somewhat the soul of baseball, the natural is the body, mind and body. I don't know if there's a better sports movie. I don't know if there's a better score that fits with the sports movie. No other sports movie has achieved a mythic status for the allegory and then the metaphor we're about to watch. I mean, we can make the argument with the natural that it's not allegory. This is a literal presentation, which makes it, in my view, a little bit more powerful. The mythic side to the storytelling, it needs to be grounded. So we need human emotion, human characters, low-hanging fruit vulnerabilities. So within the plot, within the guts of this movie, we have Troy Hobbs, played by Robert Redford. He is of the flesh is weak. You have to think about that whenever you see Roy on screen. He's in love early in this movie. He leaves his love to pursue baseball, to become great, and to come back to her. It doesn't quite happen. On his way to the majors, he literally runs into Babe Ruth and strikes out Babe Ruth at this county fair. Everyone like hops off of a train. It's awesome. Like just the way how some of this is shot by Levinson, where there's just like a deep golden glow around Roy Hobbs. It's almost like there's a literal halo effect around this guy during this time. There's an orbiter, a woman. We can call her a groupie. We see her with Babe Ruth. She approaches Roy Hobbs. She's dressed a certain way to lure him in. She's almost like a Black Widow spider. And she shoots him when he tells her that he's going to become the greatest of all time. And in that moment, we realize that she's with Babe Ruth. She wants Babe Ruth to be the greatest of all time. She doesn't want Roy Hobbs to outshine Babe Ruth. We jump ahead 10 years later. And he gets, I believe it's the New York Knights. They're somewhat of this combo team of New York Yankees, New York Mets. They have the colors of the Mets, by the way. If you go to Cooperstown, there's New York Knight hats all over the place. There, the owner's woman, his babe, Mimo Paris, what a wonderful name, played by Kim Basinger, Oscar winner, right? Or Oscar nominee. She develops a relationship with Roy Hobbs. The owner knows about it. The players know about it. The press knows about it. The coaches know about it. And we see this corruption of Roy Hobbs. He, through this now new relationship that we're with Roy on, it just doesn't quite feel right. But Roy Hobbs is so innocent. He's almost like a child in this movie where we almost we're indifferent when we watch this movie. We're with him. We're not. He's doing something right. He's doing something wrong. Why can't he just stick to the game? Why can't he just focus on what he wants to focus on? And through all of this, he does reunite with Glenn Close. Through all of this, he connects everyone through the game and through amazing feats. But we're grounded in this corrupted character. Like some Christ-like story, something like Neo from The Matrix, or even John Connor from Terminator, Judgment Day, for example. You always get two sides of these types of characters. You get one side that believes it, that drinks the Kool-Aid, and one side that does not. This natural conflict, and we get it even with Superman. This natural conflict divides the audience as well, because sometimes when you rewatch movies, you could be on one side. You rewatch a movie, you could be on the other side. That happens to me here, where I like watching this movie from the perspective of Pop, who's our head coach, where he's not impressed by Roy. He thinks Roy's a little bit of a joke. He thinks he's a little too old to start the game. And we start to see the game. We start to see the movie through his eyes. Through just, you're too old of a rookie. What the hell are we doing? But then his assistant head coach, who is he played by Richard Farnsworth, right? Incredible Richard Farnsworth. Red Blow. I mean, I love the names of the characters in this movie. Red adopts Roy, gets him in, starts to guide him into the team. He's almost like a Jiminy Cricket type character, and that's what I mean about how perfectly mythic this movie is. Because on the surface, everything is just like simple and easily, like the motivations it's all very rudimentary, but the way it's presented, it's in a very dynamic, complex form. And what Barry Levinson does here, I don't believe any other filmmaker achieved, with or without this being a baseball sports movie. It's truly special. The Natural is one of my absolute favorite movies, one of my absolute favorite scores. I put this movie on all the time, with or it doesn't have to be baseball season. I love the mythic storytelling in this movie. All right, AKA Patters, I love you guys. Rock and roll. Get yourself some Natural. I gotta go. Bye.
Okay, that's a wrap.